When you think of high-speed rail, there's a very good chance that countries such as France, Germany, Japan, or even China come to mind. But Saudi Arabia is home to the Haramain high-speed railway. Right now, it's the fastest train in the Middle East, and it will take you from Mecca to Medina via Jeddah. And I just happen to be in the coastal city of Jeddah, in need of a ride over to Medina. So let's go see what it's like to take the fast train in business class here in Saudi Arabia. In Jeddah, there is ongoing construction on a brand new metro system, but it's not open yet, so the fastest way to get around right now is in a car. This city definitely has its fair share of traffic, but soon enough, the massive airport train station that I'd be departing from came into sight. Okay, perfect. Thank you. It's a really big train station at the airport. And a business class ticket on this train gets you access to the business lounge. But be warned, the signage here is a little bit confusing. It's pointing to go up that way, but I think the business lounge is over this way. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, definitely the business lounge here.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Okay, welcome. 11:30 should go to the train.
So I must say, I didn't properly research my business class ticket, just because the business class ticket was actually only like $20 or $30 more than the economy ticket. But it even includes lounge access. And it looks like a pretty solid lounge, definitely more impressive than I've seen from, for example, let's say the Deutsche Bahn over in Germany, that also gives you lounge access, but only with the most expensive first class tickets, as they call them. Here it's business class, of course. And they do make it very clear that this is a no service experience over here in the lounge, but there's free food and drinks. Looks like you've got some savory stuff right here. What's in here? Some little like mini pizzas, sweet stuff here. More mini pizzas, and wet towels. And on the other side here, rusk, other sweets basically, more towels. They've got towels and tissues everywhere in this country. Little cups of water. Oh, and orange juice and mango juice. I want some mango juice. Also pita bread here, and it looks like they've got some dips in the fridge too if you wanted. And over this way, you've got your hot drinks, tea, and that Arabic coffee. Well, they call it Saudi coffee, but it's just Arabic coffee, you know, with some spices in it, no caffeine. But then they've also got regular, I guess you could call it European style coffee. I'll go for one of these. And one other cool thing is, the staff just walked up to me and informed me that they've got like made to order breakfast. So either like some eggs with cheese or fool. So I just got one of each to test it out. Of course, acknowledging the fact that I didn't even know there's a business lounge available. It's great. But just comparing this to some airport lounges, like some of the priority pass lounges, especially in the US, this is kind of even nicer than those. This one's kind of like a banana bread with some kind of paste inside. I don't know what it is. And this looks like a date cookie. And just the simple fact of any place having mango juice, even if it's like pasteurized like this, so nice. Shukran. Okay, thank you so much. So if I were to come again, I would definitely come an hour earlier just to take advantage of the lounge. I always feel bad destroying pretty bowls of hummus or fool. This is good. Get a tiny little cup of vegetables too. Really, what a nice experience over here in their business class lounge, especially by train standards. But there is also security to go through, so they told me that I have to be there 30 minutes before the train departs, which is noon, and right now it's already after 11:30, so I'm gonna rush down there and make sure I can still get through the security line and all that. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, man. How does this work?
Just put the QR over there.
Okay, okay.
Scanner, yeah.
That's it.
Yep. Have a nice day, brother.
Thank you. So, this Haramain, sorry if I butchered the pronunciation, train line goes from Mecca over to Medina and makes these two stops over here in Jeddah. I'm at the airport station, but there's also another very large train station apparently on the other side of Jeddah. I just picked the airport station because it was a little bit closer to where I was staying. And once you get down towards the tracks, the train station's a little bit reminiscent of like the Renfe station over in Madrid, actually, in Spain. Looks very similar. So I'm really excited to try my first high-speed train in the Middle East over here. And now I'm down on the track level But I think I must have misunderstood something. There's definitely no security to get on this train. It was just like one ticket checker and then another person that kind of just confirmed that you were not going to Mecca but going to Medina. And the train's got that nice long high-speed train nose. Thank you. Here I am, coach 1. And there's a nice amount of space over here for baggage storage. I think I'll just leave my larger bag and then take the smaller one over to my seat, but I could honestly just put both of them up here as well. And now, since I've made it down to my seat, let's just have a little bit of a look around. There is in-train entertainment, and you get the choice of using it in English or Arabic. And as I get situated over here in my seat, there is one observation to keep in mind. The seat numbers are a little bit different than you might find on like an airplane, for example. So I'm sitting in seat number 6. My wife over here is sitting in seat number 3. But over here you can see seat 1 and 2 is that row, 4 and 5 is this row. So basically each seat has this individual number. There are no like row numbers on this train. The main point here is if you book 2 window seats in front of and behind each other, they're going to be 3 numbers apart. So 3 and 6 in my and my wife's case. But anyway, let's get back to the in-train entertainment here. Looks like there are movies or some kind of film. They're all basically about religious pilgrimage actually, so I guess I'm not going to be watching any of these movies. And then for audio, oh, there's the audio section, but there's nothing there yet. Maybe on the next train they'll upload something. And then help and info. See if we find some information here. Well, okay, so the entertainment maybe is a little bit limited, but they still have something. But yeah, basically a not huge, but big enough, comfy seat. There's charging under there, by the way. And we'll see about the Wi-Fi situation. I have a feeling there might not be Wi-Fi on this train. I've got a second before we're going off, so let's go check out the economy class. Maybe the cafeteria if I have enough time, let's see. And as I walk through here, you can see the business class cabin. It's quite big, covers a few trains here. And it's always 1 seat on one side and then 2 seats on the other side. So worth keeping in mind. And so far it looks a little over half empty. They do have a lot of trains running every day, so what? So I imagine they're not all full. I don't know. It's also kind of new. And then here's the little cafeteria area. Also looks nice. Ah, cool. And here is the economy cabin. Let's just have a little peek. Oh yeah, it's 2-2 seating. Looks cozy, but economy is looking a lot more packed than business. So I'm just gonna head back to my seat now. It's up. I'm like down, sorry. And it's kind of funny just how full the economy class actually is. A few more minutes before I depart here. Just because, like I was saying, the business class was not that much more expensive. But at the end of this video, we'll go over how much everything cost. And we're just about 8 minutes before departure. But having just sat and walked around on this train for like 10 minutes now, I have to say it's really, really cold in here. Outside, the air temperature in Jeddah is 29 degrees Celsius, which is 80 something Fahrenheit. It's hot out. And here it's got to be like, I don't know, 18 degrees Celsius, maybe under 60 Fahrenheit. So it's the perfect time to put on my merino wool pullover. I haven't worn it since I was in Pakistan. But scratch what I said about Wi-Fi. There's the HHR onboard Wi-Fi showing up as a network. So I'm just gonna see if it actually works. Well, I'm actually not able to get it to work, at least quite yet. I'll give it another try once the train gets going. Sometimes train Wi-Fi doesn't always work while you're just sitting somewhere. But it is now exactly 12 noon and we're taking off 100% on time. Right when the clock changed from 11:59 to 12, the train started to move. And as we're getting going, now I see that you can see the speed that you're going up on the screen there. Right now it's in Arabic numerals, but it switches between English and Arabic. So the Latin numbers that I can read much quicker will be back in just a second. But it looks like we're going like 59 kilometers per hour.
Dear guests, you will now hear a supplication in which Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, recited upon his travels.
And we've just been trekking along quite slow. They've made a few different announcements. And I suppose just like domestic air travel in Saudi Arabia, they have a kind of prayer before or right around departure time. I would also point out that considering that this train line connects two very religious or important cities to the religion of Islam, Mecca and Medina, it makes sense that they would have stuff connected to that on board the train too. But now all the announcements are over, and I think we're about to start going pretty fast. And so far, pretty fast is 173 kilometers per hour, a little over 120 miles per hour, so not slow. Not quite bullet train yet, but let's see if we don't get a little faster. In the meantime, they came around with a nice little date service. And it looks like there's some Arabic coffee involved too. Full of spices. I actually really like the taste of Arabic coffee. I just don't like the experience of not having any caffeine, but that's a different story. Starting to get some views here. Now, when booking the train from Jeddah over to Medina, there are a lot of non-stop trains, like trains that don't make any stop at any other station. This one makes one stop at King Abdullah Economic City Station. So I think that adds just a few minutes to the journey time, but we'll still be in Medina in under 2 hours. And now we're getting a whole lot faster. Right now it's at 266 kilometers per hour, and I think we're almost to 300 kilometers per hour now. 299, 300. So I guess once you get outside of the urban areas, you can pretty much go as fast as the train will let you here. But now that we've hit 300 kilometers per hour, a little over 200 miles per hour, what I think is full speed, the train does get a little bit less smooth, a little bit more bumpy. To be honest, I've never been on a high-speed train that's not a little bit bumpy when you get up to top speed, but definitely worth considering. I almost spilled this Arabic coffee, but luckily I saw that it was about to fall. How's it going so far? What on back though? Let's give the bathroom a little test. Well, I can't say it smells like awesome in this bathroom, and it's quite small, but it looks, well, almost clean. The thing is, in this region, you've got these things, and there's just always water all over the place. That's every bathroom in the GCC, to be honest. But if you want to plug in your shaver going 300 kilometers per hour, you can. There's a place to wash your hands. And I mean, that's all they've got in the bathroom, actually. Well, okay, there is also this baby changing table, so very family friendly. And if you want to dry your hands, you got to use this thing. But here we are, just going crazy fast through the desert. So let's go back to my seat. And I've been spending quite a bit of time in Jeddah, actually. I was there for like, I don't know, 8 or 9 days. I ended up getting just a little bit sick after visiting Pakistan, so I had to recover from that. I think I'm almost there though. But having only stayed in Jeddah, I hadn't yet had the chance to see any camels in Saudi Arabia, and I just spotted my first few. And as we approach our only stop, King Abdullah Economic City, the train has started to slow down. And as we pull into the train station over here, it's another impressive one. The announcement also made very clear that if you're not set to get off at the station, do not even get up. It's my understanding there are some special permits needed to visit the city at the moment still. And off we are again. This time, it's gonna be a longer ride, but I've continued to test out the Wi-Fi, and I just cannot get it to work, unfortunately. It shows on both of my devices that there's a network, but nothing pops up and no internet starts working. So maybe like the need to reset the router or something like that, or it might be some other thing going on. It's probably not both of my devices, to be fair. But you do get cell service on the train, and for like a less than 2 hour journey, there's probably not much need for Wi-Fi, to be honest. Orange juice, please. Shukran. And another really cool thing is that your business class ticket includes a free small meal. It looks something like what you'd find on an airplane, basically. They said beef and rice, but looks like it's some chicken and rice. Let's give this food a taste. basically exactly like economy class catering on a decent airline. And you get a little pink dessert. It's floppy. I think it's some kind of strawberry flavored thing, like pudding. And after that quick stop in King Abdullah Economic City, the views are just spectacular all over the place. It's like desert with pretty enormous mountains all around. So traveling from Jeddah to Medina, you'd have a few other options too if you didn't want to take the train. There are plenty of flights every day from Jeddah to Medina. There are also buses, and driving is incredibly popular all over the country of Saudi Arabia. As the bird flies, the trip is about a little bit over 200 miles or a little bit over 300 kilometers, which is roughly the same distance between Washington, D.C. and New York City. But when traveling between Washington, D.C. and New York City, it might actually make the most sense to fly a lot of the time, depending on your exact points of departure and arrival. But here, to travel between Jeddah and Medina, this fast train, if you had no stops, would take 1 hour and 48 minutes. The Amtrak Acela over in the US has a minimum travel time of 3 hours for about the same distance. So we're not doing like a huge points guy comparison of every way to get between these two cities or anything like that here, but I do think that the train is probably the best and definitely the fastest way to go when you count in going through like airport security and all of that. So if money just wasn't a part of the equation at all, I would definitely choose the train on this route. But since price does also matter, the deal that I was able to get to sit in this business class seat was pretty great. So when I was looking at how to get from Jeddah to Medina, I looked into all the different options. The bus just took too long, though it was probably the cheapest option. Then after that, driving also took a lot longer than the train or flying. But when it came down to it, the business class seat that I'm sitting in on this train only cost me a little bit over 323 riyals. If I had wanted to fly on this exact same day, today's January 2nd, by the way, I would have had to pay a minimum of 299 riyals, and that's for economy class. This is a business class. So in terms of value, at least for what they're charging right now for these seats, it's really, really good in my view. And on top of that, the experience that they're offering on board is really, really solid. In many ways, the experience here is very similar to what you'll find in Asia or Europe, but it does have a nice Saudi Arabian spin to it as well. So this HHR or Haramain high-speed train is literally the first fast train that they ever had in Saudi Arabia, and it's only been operating for a little bit under 6 years. Basically, when this train started operating, that more or less coincided with when they first opened this country up ever to tourists. And in my view, after this nice experience I've been having here on board, I would probably go as far as to say that not only should this be seen as a good method of transport between these two cities, but it's kind of one of those must experiences. I mean, as far as high-speed rail goes in this part of the world, this is as good as it gets. And there are currently more high-speed lines in construction at the moment, so soon enough it should be possible to take this same kind of trip between cities like Jeddah and Riyadh or Medina and Riyadh. So I mean, in terms of improvements, they could probably have a few non-religious movies on board, make the Wi-Fi work, and that kind of stuff. But they've really got the stuff that matters down to a T on this train, including the fact that I am almost in Medina, and we're still 20 minutes before we're supposed to arrive. So we might actually get there, not on time, but early. Indeed, we are just pulling into Medina station at 1:45 p.m., which means this entire journey took an hour and 45 minutes. It's supposed to take an hour and 54 minutes. We're early. What a thoroughly comfortable train ride over here in Saudi Arabia. So, thanks so much for coming on this journey with me from Jeddah over to the city of Medina. A city I've never been to before, so I'm really looking forward to checking it out. But that's it for this video, so if you did like it, give it a like and subscribe to my channel for many more travel videos. I'll catch you all in the next one.